Good morning, ladies. Happy Monday. Welcome to my kitchen. You can't see, but I've got some food. I want to do a live demonstration here. I've put together a plate, so we're going to get to that. And I'm going to put my dog outside. 1 second. Leave it up to Bella to throw things off here. Anywho, today's live. The topic is how to plan a week of macro-friendly meals without overwhelm. On Friday, I posted a carousel post. It's just something you can scroll through to help with meal planning, just to help with maybe organization, with a structure that works for you. And I want to just tie this into that post that I made on Friday. Meal planning, it's something that I do without fail. It might look different from week to week, depending on what's going on, if Rob's home, if we are traveling, so on and so forth. But I always try to think ahead about what my week is going to look like, because I know it's going to help me reduce decision fatigue, meaning like every day being like, oh man, like what am I going to make today? What am I going to eat today? And I've shared this before, is that I love to bulk food prep. I think that is the easiest and best way to do it, especially if you have a family that doesn't necessarily eat all of the same things. With bulk food prepping, you can mix and match ingredients to ultimately make macro-friendly meals that support whatever goal you want to achieve, whether it's performance, more energy, fat loss, muscle building, so on and so forth. So why macro planning works? It's an easy way to make balanced meals, eating a variety of different foods, like I said, to hit your goals, whether that's steady energy, reduced cravings, and just helping you stay consistent with your nutrition goals. If I were to ask majority of you, like what you struggle most with, I think, and I only say I think, it's just because I've been doing this coaching for quite a while, is that I've heard people say that they struggle most with their nutrition, and I think we just overcomplicate things. So we want to think about putting meals together that have a protein, a carb, and a fat. And then the bonus, of course, is veggies. We can't forget about the fiber. So ultimately, if you think about that for every single meal, it makes it so much easier to put together macro-friendly meals to balance your macros throughout the day. I hope that makes sense. So I just put together like a sample of what that could look like. So I've got my protein, about the size of the palm of my hand in thickness. I've got kabocha squash, which is about fist size. I've got an avocado here. This is larger than a thumb, but you get the idea. I typically eat half of an avocado, but it depends. It depends on what else I've eaten, but I'm just showing you like a basic balanced plate. And then we've got some arugula and carrots for my fiber. If you can think about putting together balanced meals for breakfast, lunch, even your snacks and dinner, you are golden. And I'm gonna go as far as saying, like, if you eat 4 times a day, which is typically what I encourage, 3 to, I would say 5 meals per day. So 3 main meals, 2 snacks. For me, what I've been finding lately, eating 3 to 4 times a day works great because I just make bigger meals. It keeps me fuller for a lot longer. This is not something I always did though. I used to graze and have cravings and energy crashes and all that stuff. But meals like this keep me full, keep me satiated. I have no cravings, rarely any cravings, and it just makes me feel really good. So I split my macros. So I eat 160 grams of protein divided by 4, because we're gonna do 4 meals today. That's about 40 grams of protein per meal. Now my carbohydrates, I'm eating about 200 grams per day. So if I divide it by 4, then that's 50 grams of carbs per meal or snack. Fat, I'm eating about 80 grams per day. So that's about 20 grams of fat per meal. And that really helps you to decide what your meals, your balanced meals are going to look like as you track them. If you know that you should get close to 40 grams of protein, and this is just my example, of course, it's gonna look different for you, but 40 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fat, plus your veggies, of course, it is so much easier to eat in alignment with your goals. Now, example of a snack could be Greek yogurt as your protein, could be a piece of fruit as your carb, could be Brazil nuts or pumpkin seeds as your fat, just an example. And if you wanted to, like, you could sprinkle some chocolate chips. These, if you look at the label, there's fat and carbs in these. So this would count as a bit of a fat and carb. And it's okay to do that. But majority of the food that I have here is whole nutrient dense food. Let's put this plate off to the side. So I've prepped this week. We are taking off on holidays on Friday. So I've did kind of a smaller food prep, but I still prepped because I want to use up, of course, the groceries that we have and make sure I feel good going into my vacation. I've got baby potatoes and kabocha squash prepped for my carbs. I've got some fruit, plums, as I showed you, as more carb sources. Fats, you could use olive oil, butter, ghee, avocado oil, and of course, like chia seeds, Brazil nuts, pumpkin seeds. Those are all fantastic fat sources. Flaxseed as well. You could put this on your Greek yogurt instead of the pumpkin seeds or the Brazil nuts that I showed. So I'm always thinking, how do I put together a balanced meal of protein, carbs, fat, and fiber? Always. And that goes for every single one of you as well. Macro-friendly meals isn't just about trying to make things fit. And I say things fit, meaning like processed foods, foods that just have a lot of ingredients that as we age, we don't tolerate it the same. Unfortunately, because of fluctuating hormones, decreases in estrogen, decreases in progesterone, and increase in cortisol, we naturally deal with more inflammation and our digestion is altered as well. So keeping things super simple and basic with single ingredient foods, I'm telling you, is the best way to go for you to feel and of course look your best. And then last but not least, I've got some broccoli, some carrots, and I always have protein powder on the go as well. I will be having the pumpkin smoothie that I shared in the group chat this week as my snack. And I'm going to be using up this Greek yogurt and of course always thinking balanced meals. Now, time-saving hacks for how to plan your week. Batch cook. This is basically what I just went over with making, and I didn't even show you my protein. I've got chicken and a huge tub of taco beef because I will be having taco bowls this week. I will be having chicken, kabocha, veggies, and avocado for my lunches. And my breakfast, I'm gonna be going between protein oats and eggs. And I've got lots of kabocha squash to use up, so I'm going to eat that for breakfast. And like I said, as well as oats, those are in my pantry. But to make things have a little bit more variety, you can like theme your nights, theme your meals. Tuesday maybe is Taco Tuesday, for example. I've got taco beef made. You could make a burrito bowl for a different day. Maybe on Wednesday, it is Stir Fry Wednesday, and you are using the chicken that you used or that you cooked, and all you have to do is fry up some veggies, possibly make some rice. If you have a pressure cooker, making rice in your pressure cooker takes 8 minutes. That's it. 8 minutes in your pressure cooker. So easy to make a stir fry. Maybe on Sundays, it's a sheet pan meal where you've got a protein and some root vegetables and other vegetables on the other side. Again, everybody's food prep is going to look different, and you will find what works for your family. But I just want to say, when it comes to macro tracking, if you are feeling overwhelmed, first, think about putting together a balanced meal of protein, carbs, fats, and fiber, dividing your macros like I did, depending on how many times you eat per day. And it's just going to make things so much easier for you. When I started tracking 15 years ago, I didn't know a darn thing about tracking macros. I didn't have a coach. I basically taught myself by just going on YouTube and looking for videos, and it was just like repeat over and over again, and learn from, I was going to say my mistakes, but learn from what I am doing, what works, what are carbs, what are proteins, what are fats. The beauty that you have access to in this program is that there's a library of videos that I have put together to help you with this. And if you have questions ever, like, I am obviously here to help you. There was one more thing I was going to say, and it has just left my brain. Not quite sure. Maybe that was a sign that that's the end of this live for today. I just want to take a quick peek at my notes. Yeah, I guess consistency over perfection, always, with anything that we do here when it comes to your health and fitness. So again, any questions, please drop them in the chat, and just try to keep things like as simple and basic as possible, especially in the beginning, and then you can start getting into more complex recipes. But I do strongly believe that eating this way with whole single ingredient foods is the best way for you to feel amazing, have great skin, great energy, recovery, all of those things that make us healthy humans. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.